Welcome, I'm Chef Michelino here at Casa Bottega, and this is What's Cooking. Today we've got some beautiful oysters, natural, and I'm going to show you how to make 3 different varieties. We call them Oysters Miste. We're going to make oysters alla Fiorentina, oysters alla Diavola, and oysters Gratinati. So we're going to start off with get a nice dozen of beautiful oysters. Regardless of how fresh they are, always wash them, rewash them yourself. So the best technique is ice water, salt, and a squeeze of lemon. Put all your oysters in. You'll be surprised just how much dirt's actually in there. So we get a baking tray. And the little technique is to make sure the meat comes out of the shell, drain all the sand out and place them down. Oysters alla Diavola are the first ones we're going to make. It's basically a Kilpatrick with a little bit of chili. Julienne bacon is the best method of cutting them. It sits on the oyster a little bit easier. So make sure you've got a nice filling of bacon on them. These will go in a hot oven until brown. 2 minutes before you're ready to serve them, put your Worcestershire sauce on them. If you put them now, it's going to dry up and go a little bit too dark. So that's your oysters alla Diavola. The next oyster we're going to prepare is Gratinati, what's just a breadcrumb, garlic and herb. Prepare a little bowl, some breadcrumbs. If you grate them yourself, great, or else anyone you buy at the shop's quite fine for this. Quite a generous serve of garlic. So it's quite a generous serve of garlic there, gives it a lot of flavour. Also a nice generous serve of breadcrumbs, of Parmesan cheese, salt, pepper, oregano and parsley. And then it's a little bit of a messy job, but try to rub the garlic and the breadcrumbs together nice and through so all the breadcrumbs are infused with the garlic oil. And it should look nice and wet like this. So then the trick is not to just pack the oysters, the breadcrumb mixture on the top, to take the oyster out, roll it inside and just gently put it back on there. So these are the oysters Gratinati, and they will cook at the same time as the alla Diavola. And again, Gratinati, for people who aren't of Italian background, it just means gratinade. Now the last oyster we have to make to complete our Oysters Miste is the oyster Fiorentina. From our last episode where we made the quiches, the word Fiorentina is normally associated with spinach. So a nice little bowl, some blanched spinach that I've prepared earlier on, and blanching we covered on the last episode. It's just boiling water, few seconds, cool, squeeze out, and you keep your nice green colour. With the Florentine mix, it's some mozzarella what's shaved, some Parmesan, salt, pepper, and again with most spinach, a little bit of garlic will go a long way. It gives it a beautiful flavour. And again, give it a good mix. And cover the oysters quite nicely like that. Preheat your oven to about 180, and they will take about 10 to 15 minutes, but do check them after about 10 minutes. Every oven at home cooks a little different. So that's your oysters there, prior baking. We're going to pop them in the oven, and I'm going to show you a little garnish that looks quite fancy, and it's quick to make. Okay, so the oysters are now baking in the oven. We're going to prepare a little plate for a garnish. So a nice little technique I use what's quick to make is a rose made out of the skin of a tomato. So to let the roes sit and not slip around, I'll just cut a little bit of a cucumber circle, take the centre out, and that could be your base. Then you find a nice firm tomato. It might take you a few attempts to make. A sharp little paring knife, just take the top off, go right around, but do not cut it off, and just peel it like you would peel an orange. Less flesh, just skin, better result. If it breaks, just persevere with it. You eventually will get the technique, and it's quite a nice little result. So the technique is, you have it the way it came out, take the centre and just keep on twirling it until you get a little rose, and that sits on there. Now a nice little garnish for that is, I call it a lemon pigtail, where you get just a half a lemon. Again, with your knife, just cut around the skin before it meets the flesh, and all you do again, twist it around, tuck it in, so it looks like a little pigtail, and that would be your garnish. So what we're doing here is a little garnish out of cucumber. It's normally 5 little cuts, not all the way to the end. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And all you do is you fold the second one into the end. If you leave your cucumbers out for about a half an hour and they're not as cold, they won't break. If the cucumber's a little bit cold, they tend to crack. So I've just got that one, and that could be a nice little garnish there. So the oysters are about ready. I'm going to go and pull them out of the oven, and we see how we went. Oysters have come out of the oven, and they get presented on a nice plate with a little bit of lemon. What we've got here is the oysters Florentine, and you can see the mozzarella is melted nicely and kept the spinach together. You have your Kilpatrick, and in the Worcestershire sauce, you can make a little bit of hot Worcestershire sauce with a little bit of chilli, and just give it a refreshment at the last moment. And your Oysters Gratinati taste a lot better than what they it's just a traditional gratinate look, but they taste beautiful. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.